Laura, did you hear anything? I don't know. Laura's lifetime is my filter for when I want to fly off the handle.
Yeah, same here.
I go through Laura first before I say anything. It's true.
Come on, Laura, there is some crap.
Laura has got the most professional demeanor on any game. You will never know if you make her. I mean, you've been in some sessions that have maligned. I mean, they've been bad, and you still just managed to pull off top stuff. That's why I ask you.
I don't know. I guess the fans. I'll look up things online sometimes, and fans will bash it, saying, "Well, they didn't release it with the original Japanese on the video game." And the thing is, there was no original Japanese on the video game or something. It was we did it and they animated the flaps wrong or something, and then they think that us as actors can't match the flaps or something.
Yeah.
So.
I think in regards to critics, unfortunately at this point, I don't think that video or voice acting sells video games. I think it helps, but Laura and I did a game once where they paid the lead $750,000 for her voice, and she did what she did, but it did not help sell the game at all.
No, and
you look at the biggest one, which was Grand Theft Auto. The guy gets paid $150,000 to do Grand Theft Auto. Now the game did $450 million its first month, so his point was, I deserved to get paid because he knew how successful the game was going to be. But the guy's performance was lacking. And I think that it still comes down to how the game looks and how the game plays. That's what really sells a game. It's an easy thing to pick on the voice acting. But I don't think that we're at the point yet where voice acting is going to completely sell the game, but it is something that's easily criticized.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's a lot of things you have to take into place. There's a lot of people that don't get the venue, and there's a lot of people that are just simply doing what the director wants because they don't know. We're still trying to make it like film.
Yeah.
So it still sometimes falls short, but it's not for lack of trying.
Also, when we're recording, a lot of the time the animation is being done simultaneously, so we're going just on a script or what the director is conveying to us. On this scene, this character is doing this.
Like in
With no context,
Street Fighter 4,
Yeah.
we were working off of storyboards when we were recording to the anime movies that happen in the game. We didn't have the animation, and so we were recording, and then you go watch it, and it's a little bit off, but
Or a lot of it off.
a lot of it off. But there was nothing.
Even with Last Remnant, when I went in and recorded, they had a video camera on my face the whole time we were recording, and they were animating to our mouth movements, and still at times the flap just slightly off.
Right.
Resident Evil did the same thing.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Great game.
A lot of times, more and more people are starting to bring in actual film writers, so you're actually getting scripts like you would see in a film script. But a lot of times you're just simply, here are your lines, and well, what's the line before this? What am I, am I mad? And there's typically 3 speeds you can read any line at. But it really helps, and I ask people, if I'm doing a soldier, it doesn't really matter, but if I'm like a lead or a big part of the game, let's sit down and talk about this guy and figure out what we're
And a good director will.
Yeah.
A good director will let you know your context.
And let you kind of run with it, and you give them what they want, but then you always say, can I just do one more? I've got an idea, and then they can throw it away.
And then they tell you to shut up. Be
Like,
quiet.
shut up, Troy.
Or they just do that with you, Travis.
Great questions, man. Really
good question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, comment first. Chris, I feel you on the first person problem, being sick and all that. If I'm not sick, I'm probably just an open target for anybody else, like a sniper. Like if I were to go up against Kyle, I'd probably be one of those skeet shooting targets like you see in the Midway carnivals.
Yes.
Let me know when you're online. I'd love to play with you.
I'm going to my next duty station next week. Secondly, this is for all of you. Is there a video game that you would have loved to voice act but wasn't able to, or is there one in the future that that's coming that you would love to throw your voices for?
Oh, man. I want to be in Modern Warfare. I've tried out for a lot of cool stuff that I love. Tried out for Gears of War and Left 4 Dead, and God, it's hard to think right now.
I was Assassin's Creed because I don't like the job that the guy did. And I don't think that necessarily I can do a better job. I think anybody could have done a better job. Sure would love to give that a stab. I really wanted to be in Uncharted too. That was my one. I actually stood outside of a section that Yuri was in just going.
No, I'd like to do anything with the Mortal Kombat franchise.
Yes.
I would love to do anything with Mortal Kombat.
I just want to hear you say, get over here. Yeah.
Get over here. Oh, you're casting.
Laura Bailey?
Oh, games I would have. I auditioned. Are we allowed to talk about things we auditioned for?
I don't know. Sure.
Hold
Which
on,
one?
just a second. I can't say that one then.
Laura, if you got in trouble, you can come kick my ass.
People know what's happening, but I wouldn't say it.
Okay.
It's so stupid. I hate
Well,
that.
I hate those NDAs.
I wish I could have done Resident Evil 5.
I'm gonna go on a trip.
Yeah, I found out, I didn't realize I was cast in that game, and then I had a trip that was coming up, and so they cast somebody else.
Oh.
And it would have been like a really long job and a really cool job because it's Resident Evil. I didn't get to do it.
Because the voice acting in the very first
Yeah.
Resident Evil was so.
And there's another game that I auditioned for recently that I can't talk about that I wish I could have been cast in, but I wasn't. But then I worked on a game
angry
just
about
recently
this.
with a director who is directing that game, and he said I might be able to do a part on it
Sweet.
if something comes up at the end, and I was like, yes!
What? Do I know about this?
Huh?
Do I know about this?
It was. Aww.
Who else has a question while we tell more secrets?
How different is the recording process for video games compared to anime?
Very different.
What did I miss?
Yeah, well, like I was saying, we don't have the animation to go on typically. They may be like a little bit of the rough animatics for a cutscene,
A few
but
big hiccups sometimes.
yeah. But generally, if it's a game, a Japanese game, we'll have to match the timing of the Japanese audio as opposed to any video.
To the frame.
Yeah, to the frame.
Has to be
God.
either this exact time or shorter, preferably. Yeah.
Well, it's like saying, okay, we need you to die. We need you to die in 7.5 seconds. Oh no, that was 6. You need to go a little longer. Oh no, that was 8. No, you need to cut, half a
Wait,
second off the
5
minutes.
seconds, yeah.
You're at 7.7. Can you bring it down 0.2 of a second?
Yeah, it really does get that specific sometimes.
I need you to do a falling death, an impaled death, maybe a death where you got decapitated. So.
Burning on fire.
Yeah.
I love death scenes though, man.
Yeah, they're fun.
God, the death rattle and the gurgle. It's so much fun.
I wanted to say, besides that, you have no video and you're not matching lip flaps. In anime, of course, a lot of times you're recording a paragraph or a line at a
Yes.
time. Or, well, now the whole page, but you're still kind of going back and looking at each line to see if it fits. In a video game, you have, did somebody already say this? You have the book that's,
Yes.
you have like 3 phone book sized scripts.
Binders, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they'll tell you to flip to a section that is all your character, and it'll be however thick of just your character's lines. And a lot of times you'll go down, hopefully the director will tell you what's happening and why you're saying everything. But a lot of times you'll go down and you'll just do each line one at a, you'll just blah, 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 next line, blah, 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 but you'll do each line 3 different ways, and then they'll pick the one that they like that fits because they know what's going on, or they'll tell you, well, actually what's happening here is this.
Yeah.
So could you say it that way? But you're doing a lot of lines at a time and sometimes not knowing why you're saying what you're
And
saying.
because the scripts are so big, they have to hurry through the lines or
Yeah.
else they'll never get through the script.
Yeah.
And so you don't always have time to know what's going on in the scene or what's happening around you.
And it's very fast paced. And then the same thing happens with the fighting noises, and that's when you've got to watch your voice.
This is something that has really bugged me too, because they'll give